All right. Now, when Floyd Mayweather retired, or should I say, after the Mayweather and Pacquiao disaster back in 2015, I always said to myself, and I've expressed that I thought, you know what? Boxing had suffered a great deal of innuendo and ordeal during the whole Mayweather and Pacquiao drama that went on for almost, 6, 7 years until they fought, you know? And I said, you know what? After that ordeal ended, even though ended with Mayweather victory, I said, you know what? Boxing definitely can get back to where it used to be, as it was expressed by Oscar De La Hoya, when fans will actually care about a new matchup. Excuse me, I'm sorry. When fans actually care about matchups that are willing to pay to see. Okay. As far as, not holding out on certain, on certain opponents and trying to fight for the A side advantages, quote unquote. Don't want to be subjected to the B side benefits, this, that, and the third. Okay. You get my drift. But the fact is that after that ordeal, it just seems like things are getting worse and worse and worse, okay? Now, with the resurgence of the heavyweight division, with Klitschko retiring and then the heavyweights emerging, such as Wilder, Joshua, Fury, some of the other guys like Dillian White, Oscar Rivas, Efe Ajagba, Philip Herkovich, Adam Konaki, Joseph Parker, the list goes on and on and on. All right, and Luis Ortiz, obviously. Now, the fact is that you feel that these guys will be, these matchups could be made easily because there's no way these guys can jump up and down division, this, that, and the third. And the heavyweights traditionally are one to fight each other under any circumstances. Traditionally, they will do that. But now it seems like this division is becoming like a fucking, excuse my language. Or actually, no, don't excuse my language. I'm pissed, okay? Because now I can't think straight. But the fact is that it's becoming a fucking joke. It's becoming a fucking sideshow. Real talk. Now, today, we just learned that Deontay Wilder officially turned down $100 million, which guaranteed him $20 million for the Zone to fight Dominic Breazeale, which is mandatory, by the way, which got officially announced today, and 2 fights with AJ worth over $40 million. Now, there were some conflicting reports on that situation because Mike Carpenter, who's very respected, who's a Ring TV reporter, he initially brought this into light on his tweet, and then he retweeted back and said, you know what, I can't confirm that AJ was part of the deal. So now there was conflicting issues, and then Chris Mannix from SI Sports Illustrated had reported that AJ was part of that deal. So we'll just take it as is if he was part of that deal. Okay. So Wilder turns it down. All right. Now he comes out and says that, well, before this whole press conference today, he comes out and says that, well, people are trying to tell me how to dictate my career, this, that, and the third. I need to do that. I need to do this, that, and the third. All right. And this is where I got to call Wilder on this because he's not very good at his providing talking points. All right. And this is the reason why people are, this gives people ammunition to go after him as far as questioning his intellect. All right. Now, the thing is that his reasoning, his explanation of turning down that offer does not make any fucking sense. I'm going to just keep it real. It does not at all. All right. He's the one that went out there and said that I should get 50-50. It's not about the money. It's about me getting those belts that AJ has. And now all of a sudden he's turning around talking about I'm not going to do this, that, and there because people want me to do this. So him, AJ, Fury keeps flip-flopping on their positions all the fucking time. And this is what disgusting, I should say. All right. With these heavyweights, particularly these three. All right. Now today, we're expecting an announcement on his new deal with Showtime, and those terms were not disclosed. I guess the reason why Espinoza would not disclose that because this is confidential information. There's an NDA attached. I can only assume that. All right. Maybe they did match the offer what the Zone was offering to Wilder, all right? And let's be truthful here. If Showtime, Espinoza, CBS had lost Deontay Wilder, that would have been devastating to them from a financial perspective. If that would have been very, very devastating. And they probably did this behind closed doors to keep this quiet, so that way people cannot know the actual amount that he's being paid for the fight, which other people, the haters, going to speculate he's not getting any more than what the Zone is offering him. Fair enough. That's fine. And for Espinosa to get up there and say that Deontay Wilder enjoys his freedom of being an independent agent, but yet you turn around saying that he's made a commitment, he turned around saying he's made a commitment to Showtime. So how can you say that he's an independent agent, but he's made some type of commitment, a multi-fight commitment deal with Showtime? How can you say that? That makes no fucking sense to me. All right? You cannot say you're an independent agent and then sign a multi-fight deal. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Real talk. All right? It is fucking disgusting to me because Deontay, he is my favorite heavyweight out there. I know some guys are not going to like what I'm saying here. He's my favorite heavyweight. He needs to set an example. All right? Don't go to the road that Fury and Joshua went through, hiding behind networks so that way they can get advantages in certain fights that they don't believe they could win. All right? He's supposed to set that example. Say, you know what? Fuck behind the network. I'll go on your network and fight you right now. But he's not doing that. Why? Maybe he's out of his will. I don't know. But the fact is that, as Lennox Lewis pointed out, is at the end of the day, yes, managers and promoters are going to advise you to do certain things. But at the end of the day, as a fighter, you control your own destiny. You make the decisions on who you want to fight. It's your job to tell your managers and the promoters to make that fight happen as a fighter. And I agree with Lennox Lewis in that area. All right. So for him to go out there and pull this fucking move is fucking disgusting. I have to repeat myself, and I'm very, very disappointed. I'm more than disappointed. All right. I'm angry because this show a fucking sideshow, particularly the heavyweight division, when it shouldn't be a sideshow. As Barry Hearn came out and admitted that they want to stall this fight between AJ and Wilder so they can milk it just like the Pacquiao and Mayweather situation. All right. And all these fucking AJ fanatics, or, you know, I would say fanatics, fanboys, don't want to call that out. They want to dismiss that fact. All right. Yeah. The reason why I'm going after AJ and Fury, in which I'm getting to a second, is because Wilder is not the only guy who's pulling all these shenanigans. They're doing the same fucking thing. But yeah, Wilder gets 100% blame. All right. Now, as far as AJ is concerned, all right, when he turned down the $80 million guarantee offer, nobody criticized him for that? The AJ fanatics didn't want to criticize him for that? Oh, they came up with every excuse in the book why he criticized that. All right. AJ himself admitted that he turned it down because he didn't want to give up the advantages that he had, any leverages that he had against Wilder. All right. He's also admitted that he's partially to blame why that fight didn't happen between him and Wilder. Okay. He's admit that, but none of you guys want to call him out on that. But yet you criticize Wilder for the same standard that AJ did, for the same standards that you won't criticize AJ or Fury for. But yet Fury, on the other hand, ducks out of a rematch with Wilder, goes high behind the back of Bob Arum and ESPN to get out of that because he wants to get some type of financial or network advantages over Wilder or Joshua. But yet Wilder gets blamed for that and he deserves to be ducked in that situation. Okay, fine. So be it. That's your prerogative. All right. Oh, my head hurts, man. It really does hurt. It really does hurt. Now, as far as AJ is concerned, he's on a fight-by-fight basis, too, with his own, right? Allegedly, that's what's been reported. So, if that's the case, if you guys going to criticize Wilder for not signing to the zone, then why don't you tell AJ to take his ass over there to Showtime on a fight on a one-off fight basis, as Eddie Hearn had reported that that's what they're willing to do? Why don't he go over there and do that? In fact, why don't he call the WBC, position himself to become a mandatory challenger as a champion of the other sanctioned bodies? Oh yes, the WBC will oblige to do that because they've done that for other champions like Sergey Kovalev. All right. And speaking of Sergey Kovalev, let me tie Adonis Stevenson to this situation. Yes, low place. I'm gonna have to call you out on this because you won't even call out Stevenson for the same standards that you criticizing Wilder for. Okay. Now let me tell you why. Because I'm afraid that Wilder could go down the path of Stevenson based off the move that he pulled. All right. When Stevenson fucking pulled this move by when I hopped his ass over to Showtime instead of fighting on the 3-fight deal that the HBO proposed to him, that fucked his career up. You may not like that, Low, but that's a fact. It fucked his career up. You know, let me tell you why? Because he fought opposition that no one wanted to see him fight. Kovalev, on the other hand, even though he ducked 2 purse bids, which I admit he did too, so that makes it that both fighters ducked the fight. You know, although Kovalev ducked it more so because he ducked out of 2 purse bids, but Kovalev at the end of the day fared off better. You know why? Because he fought intriguing matches, far more intriguing than Stevenson fought. He fought Hopkins, he fought Pascal, and he fought Ward twice in 2 losing efforts. But he fought those guys. Way better guys than Stevenson fought. All right? And Stevenson again, Stevenson got ridiculed after that, and his whole fucking profile as a fighter had decreased before the Badu Jack fight, and that's a fact. And now, obviously, we're not going to see that fight because his career ended in tragedy. All right. So the fact is that I don't want Wilder to go down that same path, and I'm afraid that could happen. All right. I don't want him to go down that path. Oh boy. Now, to be fair, this can only be, hopefully this is a fight-by-fight basis, but from that language that Steven Espinoza provided, doesn't look like it. Hopefully it is. If it is a fight-by-fight basis that they do have, then okay, that does not rule out that Deontay Wilder may not even eventually sign on to the Zone. It does not rule that out, okay? But the fact is that it just does not look good, and I'm very disgusted at this move that he pulled. And I keep repeating myself because he's supposed to set an example opposed to those other fucking champions, naming Fury and Joshua. And he's not doing it. Oh boy. Now, as far as the Dominic Brazil matchup is concerned, yes, it's a good matchup. It's a mandatory defense. So as I was saying, it's a very good matchup. Dominic Brazil is gonna, go all out in this fight. He's very durable, very, very tough, hard-hitting heavyweight, but he's ridiculously slow. And for him to criticize Wilder's subpar boxing skills is very laughable because Dominic Brazil himself is a fucking, this guy is very, very uncoordinated when it comes to his technique. Far worse than Wilder. Far worse. And he's a knockout waiting to happen. We all know that. Dominic Brazil just got no reflexes whatsoever. He's just too fucking slow, man. It's just like, this is a knockout waiting to happen. Now, obviously the debate on whether this fight's going to be on pay-per-view. Now, it turns out it's not going to be on pay-per-view, so it's going to be on regular Showtime. All right, fair enough. Okay. But, it is what it is on this. Oh, also another thing. It's like, Wilder did allude to the fact that they did have two fights that's already been rolled out for the next 2 years in case they don't get the Joshua fight. He's already alluded to that fact, but anyways, it's just that it's fucking disgusting, man. It's fucking disgusting. I mean, and I can say one thing, the way things are going, we may never get Joshua or Wilder, and we may not get the rematch with Tyson Fury. We may never get it. The way things are trending right now. As the other UK uploader had pointed out, that this may be a cut, and I have to agree with him, even though I disagree on some cases, which I'm about to educate him on too, because he keeps calling Wilder a Southern hillbilly, which I'll get to in a second. That this is going to be a Cold War where fights going to be prolonged just as probably as long as Pacquiao Mayweather did, and just as much as like the other welterweights weren't fighting each other because there was network conflicts, this, that, and the third during that period. And I think I also heard that Andre Berto can make it a comeback. No, is it Andre Berto fighting on the undercard? I thought I could have sworn I heard that. Maybe I misheard that. But anyways, Virgil Hunter is training Dominic Brazil, so we do know that for a fact. All right, and another thing. Speaking of the hillbilly talk, I know I'm tying on all these points in the video. I just got to call out a lot of shit that I've been seeing over the past several months. Let me educate you what a fucking Southern hillbilly is, okay? Just because an African American is born and raised in the South does not classify them as a Southern hillbilly, all right? A Southern hillbilly is termed as a Caucasian Southern individual that grew up in the Appalachian territories, which is West Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee, all right? So I suggest those, particularly those in the UK, who keep calling Wilder a hillbilly, do your research before you make asinine statements like that, okay? So I just wanted to point that out. Anyways, I'm out, man. No more need to be said about this video. I'm pissed off. I'm about to I'm going to go on to hang out and debate some certain individuals about this. Peace. Oh, one more thing. AJ, why don't you join the WBC rankings? Are you concerned about the clean boxing program that they've implemented? As Dillian White had pointed out. I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm out.